Lord, what the most ridiculous thing you have heard in a courtroom? I am a former assistant state's attorney. The defendant was called in for arraignment. The judge told him that he was accused of stealing a bunch of instant lottery tickets from a gas station, and that since the total price of the tickets exceeded 300, it was already a felony, not a misdemeanor. The defendant told the judge, "But your honor, to be fair, there was not a single winning ticket among the tickets," implying that in that case it wasn't theft at all. I was struck by the ingenuity and at the same time the futility of this argument. I am a lawyer anyway we were in court. The opposing side was challenging a document that I was trying to introduce into evidence. The witness identified the document as one of his business records regarding his business, but opposing counsel objected to him. The jury was present in the courtroom, and the judge asked us to approach him. We obeyed, and my opponent attempted to challenge the authenticity of the document. I was a little surprised, so I responded, "Your honor, but this is their witness." My opponent claims to have submitted documents to the court that are not authentic. The judge turned to defense counsel. "Did you introduce false documents into evidence?" The opposing counsel Severin said that he had not, so the document was admitted. I was a little surprised that my opponent was trying to argue that his own document was not authentic, just to prevent me from presenting into the jury. I turned left on the main green and green arrow, and a city bus ran a red light and hit me from the side. My car was a small Volkswagen Rabbit, so it only flew off a little bit and I wasn't injured. The driver stopped the bus, came up to me and said, "I was blinded by the sun." I replied, "I am fine, thank you for inquiring." The police arrived and guess what? The whole bus was packed with witnesses. They all said the same thing. She ran a red light. The city paid me compensation, but she contested her violation and sued with me, 1 or 2 witnesses and an officer present. Her defense? She had a headache. Judge: "So I should acquit you because you had a bad headache and were driving toward the sun." Driver: "Yes, your honor, I'm so glad you understand." Her license to drive a commercial vehicle was revoked. She should have just worn glasses. When I was an undergraduate in college, criminal law was part of the curriculum. As part of that course, I spent a couple days in court observing criminal trials. I witnessed some interesting things. Anyway, at the beginning of one of the sessions, a guy with a mullet-style hairstyle with incredibly greasy hair was brought into the room. Skinny, tall, disproportionately large limbs, covered in tattoos. The only thing missing was a beer bottle in his hand, and a chicken leg to complete the picture. Anyway, this guy decided he didn't need a lawyer. He showed up in court all the time anyway, got locked up from time to time, and was sentenced to community service almost every month. This man knew he still had to pay a fine, and spent a couple hours of community service cutting grass to keep our Dutch streets clean and tidy, but he tried to win the judge's sympathy so that the sentences would be lenient. His dog was sent to a shelter when it was discovered that she is malnourished, and a couple of weeks before that was brought in for substance trafficking, the reason why he had to go to court. One day the guy got really drunk, after which he decided to get his dog from the shelter because he really missed his girl. The judge asked if it was true that he had broken the lock and some of the dog shelter's CCTV cameras, and he confirmed it. From his passionate account of how the evening unfolded, it was clear to see how pure his love for the dog was. According to him, the dog was the only thing that got him through his problems with his girlfriend and his bad habits. The judge told us to show the camera footage to confirm that this was the defendant, and the footage confirmed everything. We saw on the footage him stumbling into the shelter, unlocking one of the old cages and hugging a German shepherd. Everyone was very touched when they saw on the videotape how he hugged the dog, started stroking it and playing with it. It was obvious that the judge was also touched by what he saw. Anyway, the guy continued his story and told how he carried the dog into his car and drove home feeling happier than he had ever felt in his life. He ended his story with a very dry sentence. Obviously, I was surprised surprised as hell when I woke up this morning and saw a German Shepherd in my room. Even though I have a Staffordshire Terrier, everyone just exploded with laughter. He didn't understand what made people laugh. Turns out the dude didn't kidnap his own dog. The judge sentenced him to 50 hours of community service and a fine of about 3,000 euros to repair the broken doors and video equipment. I was a juror in a trial. The defendant, while intoxicated, ran a red light and crossed into the oncoming traffic lane in front of a police officer. She broke 2 rules. But it was not her fault. She had a cut on her arm that her dog licked. Yes, from the dog's saliva had gotten into her bloodstream and turned her blood sugar into alcohol.